yesterday I was on this PC from before 7 a.m. and went all the way through till 10 o'clock at night. I had a couple of hours in between where I went outside and just got away from the PC, then came back and carried on. Produced a lot of documentation, digital documentation also, and systems. And from yesterday, doing all the work that I did and the different elements, and like the website layouts and all these bits and pieces attached to that, I was able then to move on to the next stage today and think about the investment layout. What do I want? Why do I want it? And in what order do I need it? And what value does it bring? What service does it bring? So, as I said in my other video, I wanted 3 phones. These are S3s. I can pick them up second hand for between £180 and £220 each, for a good quality, good condition. This one I paid £185, great condition. But I expect that I could go to £220. So investment cost, say £400 for 2 phones. That will give me, with the 3 phones, I can film the podcasts. They've got good lenses on it, up to 8K. I've got the DJI wireless mic, which I'm using now. I've got all the experience of the 9 years plus of using Resolve, etc, etc, etc. That simple tool of buying 2 mobile phones for the price of £400 will give me the means to do podcasts, left, right and centre angle. It means I can do talking head, cut away options, so I could be filming now, and when I come to edit it, if I want to cut something out, I can just cut to the other angle. And having the 3 angles, again, I can cut in wide or cut in sharp, tight. Or just when I'm out there teaching, I can just set up the 3 cameras and have 3 angles in which to cut to in real time as I'm teaching the lesson. But also it will make it easier for me to edit out my ticks so that it's not annoying for the viewers. It's easier to cut out to those multiple angles. So that's £400 investment. But the value of what I can produce, that is that service and all that experience of having the backup, it's a no-brainer. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get 2 new cameras straight away, 2 new phones, because I've got 2 power banks, which means I can keep the 2 phones loaded. I've got the space in my externals plus the editing setup. That's what we're all set up for, to process media footage. And we now need the media footage, and we want multiple angles, and we want 3 angles. 2 wireless mics set up, because this is a DJI 2 mic. So 2 of the phones, one phone can be running Bluetooth, the other one can be using the wireless connection like this now. And then the 3rd phone can just use its internal microphone. But we've got 2 sources of quality audio plus a backup, which is going to be no problem to sync those 3 phones. And because they're all match phones, they're all the same phone, the colour science and image should be pretty close for all of them. So that makes it easier to colour grade. It just means you white balance all the cameras together before you start filming. Now from that, because I've now been able to think of the projects that I can offer other people within my circle, these are businesses, who I know and who know me. I've now started to write them out, what I can do for those people and those businesses and those services, and what they have to do, because it's their product, their business, it's them. but I can deliver the workflow they need to get into other social platforms with a business mindset. And they're there and they know me. Them people know me. They know my blood, sweat. So yeah, I've just got to make the money count. Let it show them what I can. Let them see the value in the service I offer them, and at the cost that I come in at, for the quality what they get back. Because these are my angel investors. I ain't asking people for money. I'm asking to take people on as clients so I can deliver my service to them, and this is what I'm going to be charging. And they already know what my work is because I've already done work for them for free, which they didn't even ask for. I just made videos together with Team Mafia. I've been over there, I've filmed them, I've edited hours for over 60 hours worth of just editing for them. I've done their media posts and their images and their banners. I did all that for free. Flush and Brush, I made a couple of videos, AI generated series animated videos which they could bring to market with a product line, and I did those 2 concept videos, one which they published and one's still there to be used. I did that all for free, and they didn't even think about that, and I sent it on and they were blown away by it. Now the Gormans, hey, we go back when we used to train and spar together in the ring. He's got the story, he's got the history, he's got the legend, which is his family. And I've also seen that he's already started some sort of project. Well, we can come in on point on that. Gaz Kelly, 50 years in the business. I know Gaz, he's a great man. And yeah, he deserves to be on stage and just experience his business. And then we've got Corley Recreation, which could be a great story for them. And that'll bring them to market with a revenue stream on multiple sides of the fence. So there's 5 good projects there, not even counting what I'm doing. That's 5 other people that I know, and I know their story. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build out their story, so I can, when I go and see them, I've got everything packed together. I'll say, "Look, this is what we can do, and this is what the results are," and show them the finished product in advance. Do the work and go and show them, because then they can see it. I'm taking my workmanship to them, saying, "There you go. Do you want to carry on? Do you want to make more of that? And what is that value worth to you, considering you're not doing it?" So yesterday was all about just taking raw ideas as they came in, and just going, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing to do? Yeah, so the idea come in and say, right, no BS. What's next? And do the next thing. Do the next thing, and do the next thing, and run the R&D process, so that you end up pumping out something that you've got that's tangible and realistic. That's what yesterday was all about. Now this is where the belief that you got from yesterday's work, you're now transferring that same belief over to here. But in between yesterday, from going out from doing this, so between the hours of 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock when I started on it this morning, there was a period of where the doubt come in. It comes creeping in. You can hear it in the background. Ooh, ooh. Because there's price tags attached to these services, to this project. And they go up in scale of the services that I offer to the price. And they go up to a good price. Now, I've never sold anything at that price. So that fear of, oh, well, because not everybody's going to be able to afford to pay the top end tier what I'm offering them. They can come in somewhere down the line and buy in low here and then work their way up. But everything's always new the first time you do it. And you're always going to have that fearful thought before you do it for the first time. And then once you've done it for the first time, you go back again and again and again. And then when you've been on it for 50 years or whatever, 10 years, whatever skill time you've been at that thing, you look back and there was always the first time. There was always the first time. So expect the fear to come in. So last night, in between the hours of 10 o'clock last night and getting back in the books, or while going outside this morning at 8 o'clock, I had those negative thoughts come creeping in. And I kept telling myself, I just let them go, let them talk, knowing that as soon as I got up this morning, I just had to get one of the books that I'm reading and light that spark with a bit of motivation, inspiration from a book, just to get the fire burning, going in the morning, boom, and then back in here. And now we've done this, and now I'm making this video, which is a follow-on from this. It's all the follow-on. When you feel that fear, that anxiety, that self-doubt, do the next thing in the opposite direction. Whatever self-doubt you're getting, do the next action in the opposite direction. Take the next positive step to make something that you've never done before the first time. Because from the first time, you've just proved to yourself that you can do it. And you go from belief to evidence. Evidence. So you understand that line between belief, so believing you can do something, to evidence that you've done it. Mastery is just repeating that process over and over and over again. But this is where the Renegade Human Project comes in, and the book. Because this is giving you structure. This is giving you working structure in real time. In real time. Because the principle is, you do what the book says. You do what the book says. And you put in the book what you want. You put in the book how you get it. And you put in the book what you're doing. And how you're doing it. What you're feeling, what you're thinking. The book is everything. That's why it's in your desk. That's why it's there. It's always there. You always have a tidy desk, organised desk. You know where everything is. Everything is organised, because this is what takes your mental strain. This is why wherever I've been, I've always built a desk. Always built a desk. Because here is where I take all the stuff that's in my mind and lay it out and store it in the book on the hard drives. That's what the desk is all about. That's what this is my number one working tool, and that's why it costs 50 quid to build, with the wood, the timber, and then the time to just put it all in together and just make it as it went along. The desk, because from here it's your command centre. And once you've got everything out of here into here and into here, so it's laid out on your desktop, then that clears the mind, so you can then focus on what you need to focus on. This is just the hard drive. This is the CPU. That's why the book is so important, because you can take the book with you anywhere. So you can make anywhere your desk. But if you're lucky enough to have a space where you can build your desk and have your desk, build it and understand the value of that desk when you step away from it and when you come back to it. That's why every great person in history who's ever made any money, whoever's done anything, they always had a desk. And a desk can tell a story. It can show you the person, shows you who they are, what they are. That's what a desk does, just like somebody's bookshelf. And these are the tools that back up back your belief up when the doubt and the fear and the anxiety creeps in, when the negative thoughts creep in, when the comments from the other people, the haters, the trolls, the keyboard warriors, or people in your life who you love, whatever the closest, you always hurt you the hardest. You have to have a system that's got your back. And that's why you're treating yourself, how you're treated in the system. But this is for you. This book is for you. This is telling you to work for you and not to work for someone else. Because that's what your dream is, isn't it? What your dream is. What is your dream? What is your dream? And what are you willing to do to get it? So it's a reality. I went down to London. I went down to see Simon Squibb. I went to look him straight in the eye and take this document. This is for Dubai. That there is for very few people in the world. The stuff that's in there and the price tag that goes along with that, what's in there, there's only a very few people in the world. See, projects, long-term projects. That's what these are. Important projects. Yeah. This is the important. This stuff. This is the real money stuff. Real money stuff. And this to make what's in these work takes a lot of guts and a lot of hard work, a lot of learning something for the first time, and then being proud of what you've developed, and you know it's worth. When you know the worth of what is in here, what is in these projects, in these folders, and what you're willing to do to make these come into reality. That's what this represents. This represents an idea that's gone through a process of research and development, from looking at from all angles and what its value in return is on the financial scale. And because of who I am and what I do, I took this document without these people even knowing, right? And I've been communicating with these people for a year or so, maybe longer, 2 years near enough, say. And they didn't know I was going to London to see Simon Squibb, to do whatever I could do to get this in their hand. Yeah. But just to put that document together took all that time, knowing them, watching them, researching the material that I wanted to put in here, and the professional processes in which it has to be in here, and what its value is. The amount of work it took just for me to put this 22-page document together. But because I knew its value, its worth, I jumped on a train, went to London, stayed in the hostel, seen Simon Squibb that night, stood outside the backstage door from as soon as I got there in the afternoon, and I stayed there till 5 or so, then nipped that bound to the hostel, because the hostel was only 2 minutes away, couldn't be in a better location, and got back again, and I stood there from 5 all the way through until Simon went in through the front door, because I was just standing out the backstage by where the doorbell was, the camera doorbell, and I just stood there next to the security guard for hours with this. So if Simon got out, my plan was for Simon to get out of the taxi, walk straight into the door, and for me just to go give him that envelope which says attention for Simon Squibb. Yeah, and just give him that envelope. Because then that's all I could do. All I could do. I spent all them years, all them months, all them days to make this document, this 22-page document, put it in an envelope, jumped on a train. Hostel. I didn't eat for 24 hours because obviously it cost, so I got down to London, stopped the night and back for 40 quid. For £40, that's what it cost me money-wise, and the energy and the time to get down there. And my plan was just to go, here Simon, read that at your own will. Anyway, by the time, I was stood there and he went in the front door. But I stood at the backstage. So then I went into the building afterwards, to watch the show and that. And I seen Adam Smith. And I'd spoke to Adam for a while because I didn't know who he was. I spoke to him when he was outside the backstage earlier on in the day. And I talked to him like I normally talk to everyone. I'm crazy. I've got so much to do. So he's probably listening to me going, yeah. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his backstory. I know his backstory now, and I know who he is. And I know his history, and I know the interviews because I've listened to it, yeah? So I know who he is. But I also know what he isn't, because he isn't me. So I spoke to him, so, and he probably thought I was crazy. Same as Richard, because I spoke to him also. But I just explained to them who I was, what I do, and what it was worth, and what it means. Because when you're that obsessed of doing something, when you've done the work, when you're doing the work, when you know how much work you've done, and what you won't give up, you're going to do it. Of course, you come out obsessed. Even to these people like Adam. But it doesn't matter. Because I spoke to him in the day, whether he thought me crazy or not, when I went into the Palladium, and I seen him, and I says, I didn't get to see Simon because he came through the front door. And I took this out of my bag, and I said to Adam Smith, right, looked him straight in the eyes, and I says, Adam, take this envelope. You spoke to me outside, right? I want you to take this and read this. And if it's a piece of, I said, wipe your ass with it. But if it ain't, if it has any viable, if it's not the documentation of a crazy person, I said, drop me a message. Just to know that, keep on the track. I said, I'm not asking Simon to tell me what to do or anything like that. I brought this down to show the value of what someone else is doing and what they're worth and what I believe their worth is. And it's for them, for him, for them or whatever, to maybe go and invest in these people so they can do the greater good for the masses, Me, I've just told you who I am and what I'm doing for. And I know that by me coming down here, I've done everything I can. I can't do no more than put all this work in the hand so I know it's been delivered. I said, just take it, put it in your bag. If it's a piece of crap, wipe your ass with it. If it's got any worth, drop me a message just to say, keep on going. I never heard nothing. And Adam even says Simon won't read that. But I still put it in the bag. And I asked him to read it. I asked Adam Smith to read this document. 22 pages about some people that wanted to change the health of the next generation. the mission. This is about the children, getting young people healthier, stronger and mentally stable, giving them something to aim for, showing them that they can be strong and healthy and successful once they take ownership of their own mind and body. Support parents who are struggling with children who simply need somewhere to put their energy, someone to believe in them and a path to follow. Bringing in celebrities, sporting personalities and entrepreneurs to inspire them, to prove to them that transformation is possible. This is the mission where everybody wins, in front of the cameras, behind it, and the people the cameras exist to serve. This mission already has a name. The potential I can see. And the journey to where it is to get to here, and why I've come down to London to deliver this. And then the next half, the back half of it, is actually the professional treatment of the project itself, all the financial investment, the layout, the returns, all the partnerships, how it can be done, the formatting, the media opportunities, the value of the media opportunities, the whole lot, all the technical side, camera use, colour use, da 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 da. But then there's a section here about me. Who am I? Who am I, Andy Spacey? So that there was my mission, the potential I see. That was my first layout, 2 pages. Yeah, that's the mission layout. Then I've got two and a half pages of who I am. Who I am. That's the truth in there. Yeah, that's history, successes and failures, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. 2.5 pages. There's the financial hook page and statistic page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5 pages of the people, about the people I went down to see. That's the statistics. That's the figures that they've got now, the people, the coverage, how much money they've generated so far in the period of time that they've been operating this, their own project. Because I see the value in what somebody else is doing. So I actually put my effort into it so that the value of what they're doing can be seen by other people. And then we've got the technical page. Yeah. The treatment. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pages of financial investment and the return of the project and how it is to be handled, what needs to be done, the whole shebang. That's what's in that document. Yeah. So you've got 3 elements. You've got the mission layout, you've got the project, and that's what the project is, the value and the return on it. And just somebody to write one of these and put it together, you're talking 300 quid. Because it has to be in a certain format, has to be laid out in a certain way. The language that's used in it has to be certain. And all this is from a man who could learn to read, start to learn to read at 29. And now at 53, I've just published a book, and I've got books to publish. But that documentation, that learning to be able to read, that lesson of being able to develop my ideas and do what it takes to bring those ideas into the real world. This is the results of the sacrifices I made of learning to read, learning how to write, learning how to use operations, and a life built on a life CV of doing all these different things in my life and never just going down one path. And that's because I was saved from that, because I was dyslexic when I left school. I left school with no qualifications. I couldn't even read properly. I couldn't write. I was too scared to write. Yeah. But that events there saved me from going down that path. And it made me develop the skills here of how I see things, how I think about things, and what I believe. That is what's made this possible for me to think the way I do and how I do and do what I do. And face the handle of fear and the anxiety of jumping on a train, going down to London, standing outside the Palladium for all those hours just to hand the document to Simon Squibb, who you see all over the internet, who's worth all this money, he's got 40 odd people working with him, all that. And I'm just me, Andy Spacey, a miner's son who didn't learn to read or write, or start to read or write till he was 29, at 53-year-old, sleeping on the floor at his soon to be 86-year-old parents' house, standing by a desk, self-motivate himself to do what he's done and how he does it now, to be standing there in front of Simon Squibb to say, hey, take this because I believe in this. And if you believe in this, you might see what you believe in, what you see in me. If this has value, then this shows that I'm not crazy. If you can read this with all your money and all your who you are, yeah, does this show that I'm not crazy and I'm more like you? Yeah. What makes the difference between me and a multimillionaire? I'm at the stage before the multimillionaire was. Because every multimillionaire was always at this stage, self-made, has always been through this stage. And there's so many multimillionaires who aren't millionaires yet, who are at this stage. Here, now, always constantly overcoming the fear, the anxiety, the shadows. But with a system of being able to deal with those shadows, yeah. You're able to stand in front of somebody and say, I believe in me, I believe in what I'm offering you, I believe in what I produce, whatever. Do you believe in me? Do you believe in the product? Do you believe in the service? And will you pay for it? And do you want to hire me? Yeah? So that's what this morning was. This morning was going outside, sitting in the quiet, reading a few pages of something that sparks that fire, a few pages of something telling you, don't give up, keep going, keep believing, because there ain't no one around you telling you to do that. You take that from the voice that comes from the page. Then you get up, you come to your book, and you carry on from where you started the day before, where you left off from the day before. And you keep working through day by day, page by page. You keep working through till you get to that back page. And if you haven't got what you wanted by the time you get to that back page, you get a new book and you put it in the back page and you start again. And when you get to the back page of that, if you still haven't got what you wanted, put that on the back page of a new book and again you start again. But I can guarantee, when you pick those books up and you just flick to any page and you read what's on the page, 80% of the time or higher, You have done what it said on the page. You've done what it said on the page. You can't remember doing it. You can't even remember writing it. But when you read it, you go, oh, I've done that. Oh, I've learnt that. "15th of the 3rd, 26 Sunday, 7:30ish. I'm proud of who I am. I know I am good person. That I am doing this inner work. That I've sacrificed everything to stay true to who I am, to become better than I was. I don't know anyone like me. I will always be working on becoming better. That process will be a core value till the end. I will be true to the way. I help others so that I can help myself. It will always be hard if you're going to challenge yourself. You will always be on the edge of your comfort zone. When you move forward, accept that and you will handle it. Know what you want to know and what you want to gain. Then go get it. Recognise with the darkness is knowing. When the darkness is knocking on the door of the mind, and they do turn up, let the light within the belief illuminate every space within you, within your life. Life is a journey. It's sometimes a small path, but there is time where stepping stones will be. You have to have faith and jump from one stone to the next. You may slip and you may get wet, but get back up onto the next step, and that step you've made it, then the next. I'm investing in the time to read the right books, to program my mind to be of value to myself and other people. I am now testing that with my comments on Healthback. So I am investing my time to read the right books, to program my mind to be of value to myself and other people. I am now testing that will and that knowledge with my comments on Healthbank. I will stay true to who I am and I will be honest and be authentic. This is the way. Be the right thing always. Do the right things always. Be with the right people. Be with the best people. Be who you truly are. Andy Spacey. And that was on the 15th of the 3rd, 26. I could just pull to any page like that. So anyway, I've done my crazy talk. That's as honest as it is. That's how it is. Structure. Just to help guide you through the darkness. Because this is the light. This is the torch that shines you down that small dark path. So that what's in here and here and here reality. Yes, I'm Andy Spacey. This is the home of the Renegade Revolution, and this is the Renegade Human Project. Be the best you can be. Yes.